Good day, boys and girls. My name is Zaria Baxter, and in today's lesson, we are going to look at what exactly is history/social studies. Let's get into it. Today's lesson, we will define the term history, recall the importance of history, discuss how historians conduct historical research, develop a sense of appreciation for history as a discipline. History can be defined as the study of man's past experiences, and most importantly, the word study is critical to this definition. It therefore means that history is carefully analyzed. It's a discipline. It's not just a recollection of what happened in the past, but it involves careful assessment of what is relevant and accurate about the past. Why study history? How does it benefit anybody? Historians help to preserve the legacy of a country. When historians document history of the country, the people of the nation are given an identity. Historical studies preserve a nation, and it helps to foster loyalty and love for the country in which people live. Historical studies help to build a country. It helps persons living in a country to learn from mistakes that the country made in the past. So it benefits you as a student. It helps to build your research skills, your critical thinking skills, and it helps you to understand other subject areas because all subjects are rooted in an historical background. History also helps students to develop good writing skills. It is shout out time. What is your nationality? And what aspects of your culture can citizens of your country be identified with? Let us look at some ways in which the history of a country is preserved. It is preserved through the traditions and customs that people practice in the country. Museums host artifacts. Archives also host artifacts and historical sources. The annual cultural festivals that take place in the country. Books and historical research. Oral tradition. The folk tales that are told, the saga. All these activities, even the naming of places based on important persons in the past, helps to preserve the culture of a country. Historians ask critical questions when they are conducting historical research. Let's look at some of these questions. Where an historically significant event occurred? Why did an historically significant event occur? When did this historically significant event occur? What effects did this historically significant event have on those impacted? Boys and girls, let us take a closer look on how historians conduct historical research. Historians utilize historical sources in order to conduct research. Historical sources are critical. These are of two types, primary and secondary sources. Some sources, however, serves as both primary and secondary sources. Primary sources are raw data that are taken from a point in time of an historical event, while secondary data is made from primary data, such as books, historical journals. So secondary sources involves the interpretation of primary data. Examples of primary data: tombstones, artifacts, monuments. Historians investigate historical sources in order to determine what is relevant, what information is valid, which of these sources are reliable. It is now discussion time. Give examples of 3 ways in which history is being preserved in your country. Boys and girls, we are currently on our question and answer section. Use the options below to find out which correctly responds to the questions given. What is history? Is it a study of past events, the guessing of what happened in the past, political predictions of the future, or current report on archaeological findings? Historians use which of the following to reconstruct the past? Blood samples, primary and secondary sources, or fictitious novels? Or is it religious sermons? Well, boys and girls, I knew you would get it correctly. What is history? A study of past events. Historians use which of the following to reconstruct the past? Primary and secondary sources. Good job. Here is our writing activity. Your school principal made an announcement that social studies/history will be removed from your timetable. Write a letter in which you agree or disagree with the decision made based on what you have learned in this lesson. We have now come to the end of our lesson. Thank you for listening and participating. Goodbye.